It's January 14th. I just got a notification that my internet is unstable, so awesome. Yay. I thought I had it sorted, and apparently I don't. Cool. So if I lock up, you know the drill. Y'all are just keep going without me. I don't even know why I'm here. I could just be an AI bot and just like run through. It's okay. Yeah, so if you want to add your name to the agenda, that would be great. If you don't want to, that's also fine. And if you want to tell us about your laundry habits, that would be great. I'm just always curious about those things because I'm like you, Dawn, I'm really glad to be validated in my jumper togetherness. Because yeah, seems like we're all pretty, except for Sean. Sean's good. And Ruth down here. Yeah.
I mean, separating blacks from black and whites so they stay the right color that's not hard separation at all. It's like no
I solve
work.
this by not owning anything white.
Oh,
Also
that's
valid.
one way to go. That would help.
Okay, first on the agenda, I just wanted to remind everybody, I went through and archived the minutes. So if you are a working group leader and you go to scroll down and all your minutes are gone, they've not been deleted. They've just been archived. And I added a link at all the top of all the meeting minutes so you all can find those if you need to. We do that every year just to keep the docs smaller. And now that we have them all in one, it's even more important. So yeah, just wanted y'all to know. And I usually keep like the last one from last year, just so there's a little bit of continuity. So yeah, but if you need more, you know where to find them. And if you have questions about that, happy to answer. I did skip a couple of them. I skipped the project managers. There weren't that many actual from 2024. And I think this one I might have skipped also just because there weren't that many. So just to keep them together is fine. Questions on that? It's pretty straightforward, but nah, okay. All right, let's jump along to CHAOSScon EU. We did confirm our schedule, which you can see here. I've not posted that on socials yet. I'm about to do that today. Here's the schedule. I think, Sophia, did you tell me Keynote was also confirmed? Did I see that?
Keynote is confirmed, and I have confirmed 2 other secondary speakers. I am missing info for one of them. I'll check that today, but I'll ping you at the end of the meeting with what information is added, but
Okay,
it is
awesome.
confirmed.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is it in that spreadsheet? Because I can also just go grab it from that spreadsheet. Okay.
It is in the spreadsheet, and I've been adding secondary speakers as like just an extension of the columns.
Awesome, perfect. Here are our speakers, yay. We also have a few that aren't on here, yay. But looking forward to hearing all of these talks. They look really interesting and amazing. We have some afternoon breakout sessions that will be around software. The academic group is also hosting a separate one around academia and open source. And then there's also going to be an unconference here, which I guess we could spell out a little more. And then, of course, our social activity at the end of the day upstairs at the 8, which is right up top of where the conference is. Also, I wanted to remind people, if you are interested in going, but you would like to have a diversity tickets, we do have 10 of those available. So just let me know if you would like to get one of those. And thank you to OLS for sponsoring that for us. And any that we don't use this time, we'll just pass it on to the next one. So hopefully that will be helpful for people. Yeah, Callie, go for it.
Is there a way to see if you have signed up for CHAOSScon? Because I honestly cannot remember if I have or haven't.
I can totally check that for you. Eventbrite should have sent you a confirmation too.
Okay,
So,
perfect. I can just check my email. And then if not, I'll sign up. Thank you.
okay. No worries. Any other questions about CHAOSScon?
Just a few updates on my end. So I just now pinged Stephanie from the LF because Google, thank you, Sophia, had provided support for CHAOSScon, and I still don't see it in our crowdfunding account. It's okay. It's not, Sophia, I wasn't looking at you at all. Like they said, the invoice has been processed. My guess is the money just hasn't made it into our crowdfunding account, but it's currently sitting at the LF somewhere. So I should get more info on that. I mean, I think it's all
If
good.
it's held up on our side, just loop me in and I can go
I-
track it down.
Most certainly will. The last communication I had from her, she said it was all good. I just haven't seen it in that account yet.
Okay.
And then I have the socks. They're done. They're in my basement. I'm not going to show you right now because I'm not going to go to my basement and get them. But and then I also have the poker chips. They're not here yet, but they should be coming shortly.
And how are you getting them to Chaos Con?
Kevin's Kevin. I just lost Don. Said I lost you, Don. But yeah, Kevin's
Okay.
gonna bring them.
Oh, okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I forget that, half the team is in Omaha and you can
Yeah.
easily just hand them to someone.
I tried to give him to Georg, but he had something about a small bag and he couldn't carry 100 socks.
I only travel with carry-on because I have other stops in Europe.
But Kevin said it's no problem.
Awesome, thanks.
Yep.
Thanks for doing that, Matt.
Yeah, sure.
Sophia, I
do you
saw your hand. Oh, go ahead. What?
Yeah, really quick question. I think I have like 20 or so chips left over from last year or the year before. Should I just bring those for the table?
They are
Yeah.
collector's items.
I have some too from last year. That's what I was gonna do,
Sort of.
Sophia. So if you wanna unload them.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I want to hoard a few, but like I don't need 20. So I'll bring whatever I can find.
Somebody should warn Kevin that TSA will identify the 3 rows of poker chips as a potential explosive when they go through screening. Because it looks like 3 sticks of dynamite.
From experience, I guess.
Yeah, they took it pretty seriously when I went through last year.
Callie, did you still have your hand up or do you have a new question?
No question. I just tried to put it down.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you, Matt, for doing all that. I can't wait to get my chaos socks. Quite frankly, I'm very excited about that.
That is super
Any-
exciting. Oh,
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
also gonna bring some 3D printed things and we're gonna make some earrings and keychains and or necklaces. So we're just gonna, Elizabeth and I are gonna bring jewelry tools and we're gonna help people. So it's not just the earrings. I want to be more inclusive of those without pierced ears. So we have some other options. So we're gonna do that.
I'm gonna put a note here for myself so I don't forget. When are we gonna do that, Dawn? Do we need to like carve out something in the schedule or?
I think we're just gonna do it during the breaks.
Okay.
And I might, I'll talk to you offline, but I think maybe we pre-make a few. And during the social hour, that's a really good idea, Callie. We can bring it all to
Yeah.
the social hour and do it.
I
That
think
might
it's
be less
also like
disruptive.
very inclusive. Yeah, it's also like I know for me, I do a lot better socially if there's like a task, and so it might be a lot more like just like helpful for people to participate in that type of environment. If there's like something to do with your hands that isn't just chugging a drink.
That is an excellent idea, Callie. I really like that.
Me too, me too. I will put this on here. Awesome. What other questions do we have about ChaosCon? Does the ChaosCon team need to meet today, by the way?
If we
Sophia.
don't, would someone be able to stick back and just kind of give me a little bit of like just general updates? I know that I've been in and out, lots of chaos in my life right now, but it would be good to kind of just get a general update, make sure that I'm on top of everything that it should be before I leave.
Yeah, why don't we say yes, and then we can just make it short if we don't have much.
I was gonna say yes, but it'll probably be short.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and move on unless there's something else to chat about with CHAOSScon. Okay, I'm segueing into the next CHAOSScon. So Open Source Summit North America is gonna be June 23rd to 25th, if you didn't see that announcement. It's in Denver, Colorado. I wanted to first let everybody know about that, but also ask the group about CHAOSScon North America, if we want to reach out to them to do this again, like we usually do, or skip it, or what we want to do.
I think yes. I think, and I think this is way better for us because now we end up with chaos cons that are further split apart, which I think the timing is a lot better. Keep in mind though that because the conference is Monday through Wednesday, the add-on events are Thursday and Friday. And Sean, last year you submitted kind of a separate one for Augur. Are you going to do that again? Because if so, I think we should coordinate better so that we do. If you're going to do that, maybe we do the Chaos Con in the morning and then your thing in the afternoon to give people a little more context. Because I think last year we did the software one got scheduled for the morning and then we did Chaos Con after.
Yeah, I don't, I haven't honestly given it any thought right now.
Okay.
I think I'm not sure that I'll be able to participate in June just because of the summer schedules that I have, but I'll be figuring that out here this month sometime.
Okay. Well, we should go ahead and submit something for Chaos Con. For
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Yeah, 100% for CHAOSScon.
Selfishly, my brother just moved out to Colorado a few months ago, so I will have to pop in and say hello because I never get to see him. So selfishly, I really want to go to this one as well. Maybe we can, during this CHAOSScon committee meeting, just get a quick, like, touch base with that too, of like who's going to reach out and how we want to get that ball rolling too. And I don't think it's a problem to be after the conference. There's other stuff going on, so yeah, I think it's fine, totally fine. If everybody's not socially depleted by then, it might be a more chill conference than usual. We all just sit in a room and stare at each other, no one talks. I like that. Okay.
Shared meditation space.
That's it, that's right. I'm good, I'm done with that. All right, thank you, everybody. I did link to the CFP down here for the Open Source Summit too, if anybody wants that. Okay, next one on the list, we have a new working group starting February 12th. We're gonna officially announce this at CHAOSScon, so it's not really been announced anywhere yet. Not sure, Dawn, do you want to say a couple words about it?
Yeah, sure. So this kind of came out of some research that Kaylin from the works with the NGI and with the Linux Foundation. So NGI is a European funding organization, along with Paul Sherratt, who works for the Sovereign Tech Agency, which used to be called the Sovereign Tech Fund. And they're a group providing funding for critical infrastructure projects. And I think it was Colleen that had the idea to spin up this working group where we could talk about how to measure the impact of this funding, because we have, and it's not just so both of them work kind of in the public funding space, but this is something that we talk about all the time in the OSPO working group. So different groups funding open source projects and looking at how they measure the impact of that so that they can justify continuing to do it in future rounds, I think is something that we all have struggled with over time. So we're gonna put together a working group and see what happens. So this is not about this is not really about how to fund open source projects. It really is about taking the people who are providing funding already and looking at how they measure the impact of that funding that they're providing to open source projects. So it is focused on the CHAOSS bit, which is the measurement of the impact. Any questions about that?
Would the hope be to maybe help funders also standardize what they might be looking for, say in annual reports or in submissions? Because I know that's kind of all over the place right now. And Sean and I have talked to a number of different funders about, I don't know, just thinking about ways to create some consistency on the
Yeah.
things to look at least, as we always say, just kind of starting that conversation for people.
Yeah, I would hope so. One of the things that we've talked about doing is, and one of the reasons that we spun up a repository for this working group is we've talked about putting together some, kind of some tools and resources that people can use as they gather data to look at the impact of their funding. But we hope that will also help people standardize on what it is that they should be looking for. So I hope that will help with the standardization of what the funders are asking for as well.
Okay, thanks.
But there's only so much we can do, right? The funders will ask for what they ask for.
Yeah, they
We can provide some guidance and some
yeah,
suggestions.
guidance would
And
be really helpful. And my guess is if I had to take a guess, like if there's guidance provided from folks like yourself in this working group, that guidance will be picked up pretty readily.
cool. Okay, yeah, we'll think more about that as well. And being a working group, this is open to anybody, so anyone's welcome to join us. Like Elizabeth said, we're gonna kick this off and announce it at CHAOSScon, and then we'll start it on the 12th of February after people have gotten back from all of these events.
I also know that in the university OSPO, like we talk about these things too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some overlap that we might want to think about. I'm not sure what that would be.
Oh, for sure. Same thing with the scientific
Yeah.
software. So this is and this is one reason we spun it up as a separate working group rather than rolling it into one of the others, because it does touch on really most of our context working groups.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And there's on the academics, on the research software side, there's a whole thread that's been running since September, really before that as well, working directly with funders to understand how they want to evaluate open source software before funding and actually the impact on science after funding, which is a harder problem than some of the corporate ROI questions. Because the outcomes are not as linear and they take longer.
And last semester, the university working group had Jeff Stanton from NSF come and talk about this very issue as well. So yeah, obviously a lot of overlap.
Dawn, oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just a quick question. I'm just thinking about this announcement, the schedule. So will Paul be doing that during his session? Okay. So we don't need a separate thing. Okay.
No, we'll do it during Paul's session.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Any other questions for Dawn? Okie dokie. Okay, so next on the agenda is a nice wrap up, nice graphic, love this, from CHAOSS Africa on just highlights from 2024. Y'all are awesome. I love when they do these. Ruth, do you want to mention anything about this? Do you want to touch on this at all? Not to put you on the spot.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, like I think we've done it since 2022, but this is the first time we've also done graphics, but we try to like summarize all the things we've done in the year, so we can share it out with the community. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because my network is a bit unstable. So yes, we do them to kind of share within our community and also publicly. And last year we're able to partner with some new countries like Uganda, in addition to the previous ones we've done with Angola, and I think with Togo as well. We grew in community. We collaborated with the larger chaos project on badging and, you know, the African open source project. We also grew in like our Twitter presence as well, and we were able to do the outreach for people living with disabilities. And then we got sponsorship from GitLab. So yeah, we do these wrap-ups every year, and thank you to Kingsley for designing and also Oluchi for putting together the information as well. So I look forward to doing more things this year. Yeah, we usually share them on Twitter, but we just have the Global Chaos on LinkedIn, so I think we could share the text with Elizabeth to post on LinkedIn as well. Just
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And I do know there is a Twitter from Chaos Africa, Don, if you want to reshare that. I don't have that link in front of me, but if somebody does and wants to drop it in here for us to
yeah, sure, I can drop it.
that'd
Yeah,
be great.
a lot of people are moving off of Twitter. I don't really do
Yeah.
anything on Twitter anymore.
I don't either. I mean, that kind of brings up a point. I know that is like the primary place that Chaos Africa connects with their community. And I know we've talked in the past about chaos overall on Twitter, just because it's kind of, well, we all know how it is, but yeah, so I'm wondering, Callie mentions Blue Sky. I know that's like the newest thing. I don't know if that's really getting the adoption that they thought it would, but maybe it's just slow. So I don't know, Ruth, if that's something that your community wants to talk about, moving off of Twitter or staying on Twitter. It's really hard to rebuild a community on a new platform. I get it. But it's, it's really up to you all how you want to interact with your community the most, or the best, most appropriate place. Yeah, Sean, go ahead.
I'm involved in a lot of discussions in research communities about these various social media platforms, and a lot of people, to your point, Elizabeth, are deciding to stay on Twitter and Facebook despite their new rules because they have established communities and relationships and connections. And so that's just a thing. People are moving to Blue Sky. I've got a Blue Sky account, but you're right, the engagement there is not anywhere close to what it is on Twitter or Facebook. I mean, when I was at the Member Summit in November, I posted a bunch of stuff with Linux Foundation tags to Blue Sky and got 0 interactions. So it is pretty early in its adoption phase.
Yeah, just adding to what Sean said, like here a lot of people stay engaged with Twitter. We have actually the only thing we've thought of is additionally reaching out to people on LinkedIn. But since we had like the Chaos Global LinkedIn account, I was like, let's put a pause on that. And even on Instagram, because like we do have a lot of people that want to create content on like Instagram, sometimes even TikTok. So yeah.
Well, we've only got like 5 more days of TikTok here in the United States.
Yeah, I heard. So yeah,
Okay.
we will continue using. That's the kind of where it gets into.
It is definitely a challenging problem to solve. And there's also threads, and like to Don's point, Blue Sky, Mastodon, there's just a lot of options. So I don't know, it's really hard. Yeah, Don, to your point, it is transitional. So who knows what it'll look like by the end of 2025. Okay, we'll just leave things how they are. If we need to make a change, we will. No problem. Thank you, Ruth, for that. And again, thank you, Kingsley, for the graphic. Thank you to the entire Chaos Africa community for being so amazing and awesome and working so hard to build the community and accomplish all these wonderful things. Y'all are fantastic. Okay, next one on our list. is the to-do group book chapter is published. Yay, Matt, for driving that home and basically doing the entire thing. I think you did most of this work, so thank you, Matt. This is what the book looks like, and then here's the chapter that we worked on. So it looks good, I think. I don't know what y'all think, but I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, I agree. It's really well done.
Thanks, everybody. Johan Lineker had provided a case study there at the end too, which was really helpful. Just talking about some research he had done around helping folks understand impact. So that was cool. I'm very happy to have this done. And then the one thing I did ask, it's in the minutes. I'm asking if there's a way that they can show who authored this. Right now, it just sort of looks like it's generically authored by the to-do group, which I
Yeah.
don't personally really appreciate because they didn't write it.
I mean, ordinarily in edited books, there are chapter authors recognized. That's
Oops.
extremely common. I deserve to be muted.
No, I did that on accident. I was trying to mute myself, Sean, and I clicked the wrong thing because clicking is hard.
No,
So sorry
it's needed
about
to be
that.
done for.
I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
needed to be done for a long time. We're good.
sorry. It's my fault. It's only my fault. Oh,
Yeah, the way that we handled this in the practitioner guide was we created a contributor section at the end, which lists all of the people who contributed in some way.
Okay.
So,
I would
but
prefer
it would be
authors
better if it was authors.
because that doesn't tell you a whole lot.
Mm-mm.
you're not even on here.
I suppose
What?
I should add myself.
Yeah, you definitely should. You wrote that whole thing. Wow. Okay. And then Matt, do you know if the book is finished?
That I don't know. I mean, I don't think it is. I think there's still a few outstanding chapters that we don't have anything to do with.
Okay. Do you know if they're still looking like for people to work on it? If anybody here is interested in just, contributing? They used to have a repo, right?
They have a channel on their to-do group Slack called like
Okay.
Osco chapter or something. I think that'd probably be the place to ask.
Okay,
And
perfect.
also, like, they're really good at if you open an issue in the book chapter repo,
Yeah.
they respond really quickly.
Okay. I was just curious because there's a lot of crossover here. So awesome. Well, thank you. Yeah, it would be great to have some kind of acknowledgement of chaos too.
But even like on the for the authorship, I'm happy to like just put it out. If people
Hey,
feel.
sorry, Matt, what was that?
I was gonna say on the authorship, like if kind of like how we do authorship for the metrics. You know what I mean? We have that contributor thing down below. If you feel like you are for an author on that chapter, that's fine. Issue a PR.
Yeah, good point. All right, let's go ahead and move along to this. I'm guessing that was from Sean. Was that you?
Yeah, it sure was. Just a note, we've got the public chaos data sites of ai.chaos.io and metrics.chaos.io, and we'll be moving them to some new servers in February. And so there'll probably be 3 to 5 days of things being down while we move giant amounts of data around.
That's good to know.
Are you going to give us a heads up right before that happens?
Yeah, I'll provide so I'm waiting till after CHAOSScon, and so I would imagine probably around the 10th, give or take, a week after being back from CHAOSScon. And yeah, I'll make this announcement probably, I don't know, I'll probably make a note of it in every community meeting between now and then, briefly to remind you. It'll become a weekly reminder. And then when it actually happens, it'll become a, hey, we're actually doing it on these days.
Yeah, because if we could get maybe a week's notice of the dates that it's going to be, that would be super helpful because we use these sites to pull in for like practitioner guides and things, so we can just make sure we have any images that we need before you go down for maintenance.
Okay, and I'll have a
We're also using this instance for the Forks relicensing research that Chen's been doing.
yeah, I will be putting, there'll be a under maintenance page up, so it's not like you won't get anything, but you won't get the data. So yeah, and I can say right now with confidence it would be either the week of the 10th or the week of the 17th of February, just depending on timing and coordination. And I'll definitely make a note. I'll make it very clear once those dates are set, which they should be set by CHAOSScon, I believe.
Awesome, thanks.
Any other questions for Sean? No?
Is the Augur instance at Red Hat, is that one also going down at the same time?
So I think that these two events are likely to be related. However, I'm not prepared to speak to that at this time, but that instance could potentially be still available during this window.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we're still testing out collection there, so like I'm not even using that instance for analysis within Red Hat just yet.
Okay, because I do sometimes use that one as a backup because it has a lot of the same repos in it.
Oh, I think we're talking about two different instances. The one, if it's the public one that you have like credentials already for, like it's just out of date, but all the data is like accurate up until like any of the tables you look at or the repository you look at last collected on date. That's kind of your reference point.
Cool, thanks.
Any other questions, comments? Okie doke. I'm not sure who put this one in, but it looks interesting. I would love to hear more about this.
That's mine again. Matt and some folks in the scientific open source community and I have been working on a paper probably for over 4 years right now, and it's finally going to be published in firstmonday.org in February. And I provided a link to the preprint. I think what's interesting about this particular paper is it sort of sets the stage for understanding that there are distinct behaviors that we can identify and distinct patterns that the metrics might follow in an open source research or scientific software enterprise. And those are different than the patterns that we find in corporatized open source. And reasons are somewhat intuitive, but we elaborate a bit more on what we actually see in terms of the different types of engagement there.
Sean, do you define how you're making that distinction?
I do. We do. Yes. It's in the paper.
You think I have to read it? I can't just ask you.
Yeah, I think if you just flip through it and look for the graphs, you can see there's some very distinct shapes of engagement that you see in corporatized versus scientific open source, and those different shapes make it easy to see that they are different. And then we describe the different ways that we've engaged with these two different types of communities over the last number of years. I won't assign you to read it right now during the meeting, Sophia.
It's a shiny object, Sean, and you dropped it in front of me.
Well, and the thing about academic papers is you can just scan them and get a good sense of it. So you don't have to read the whole thing.
I'm just gonna drop this whole thing in Chat GPT and just ask it, okay, what's the deal? Just give me a 10-word summary. No, that's awesome. That's super interesting.
AI Assist was telling you just click the button and I'll tell you what it's all about.
What was it? Where? Oh,
I don't want
AI
to.
Assist,
Oh.
the upper right-hand corner.
oh yeah, right here.
That's
How can I help you with this document? Simplify this for me. I shouldn't do this live.
wow. This terrifies me, but also intrigues me.
Sorry, I'm just curious now what this is going to happen, how this is going to do it.
If it says I'm not sure what this is about.
Yeah, it might take forever because it's probably a pretty long doc. 25 pages. Oh, do I have to subscribe to subscribe? Womp womp.
I know it seems like it's doing something.
Does.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we'll come back. All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. That does look super interesting for a lot of people here, me included. So thank you. Okay, who put this one on here?
I did. Um, so I think we had the blog post last year. I think Nicole wrote it on 2024 goals. So I was going to ask if we're going to have one this year too. And the reason I'm asking is because we kind of want to use that to work like with Chaos Africa. So that's kind of why I'm asking. I know we had one last year, so
Was that the goals one, Ruth?
yes, I think with Nicole, what was
Yeah.
I need?
We did in the board meeting, did we do goal stuff at all? I forget. In
Yeah,
the
I think
last,
that's where that. Mhm.
Yeah, we didn't do a new set of goals for this year. I think we talked about how the goals were still pretty good, with the
Yeah.
exception of the standardization one, which has proved to be probably more work than anyone might want to do. But I think the goals are pretty much the same, with the exception of maybe that one.
Yeah.
it could be a nice thing to do, even just in a community meeting, to just bring those goals back out here and just talk about maybe how people see them. I don't think there were too many, if I recall.
Yeah, we had a pretty nice infographic too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might just be nice to see how people think about those goals heading into 2025. And this might be a nice place to do it.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sure thing. Do you want to maybe do that next week?
Yeah,
We have
we
time?
could do. Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. Ruth, to your point too, I usually, or I have in the past done just a community wrap up, just like high level stuff, of how many people we added to Slack and blah, blah, blah. I'm actually more excited about it than I just sounded. I know I didn't sound very excited about that, but I usually do that. I just haven't done that yet. So I do plan to do just a high level from a community standpoint of like just things we did. So yeah, that's on my list. I'll just put that here too. Oops. Okay, anything else? We have one more space. We have 7 minutes left. We do have a few reminders that we always have on here, so you can read those. And then don't forget this CFP. If you're interested in submitting something, here's where you can do it. And you have a few weeks, not a ton of time though, honestly. So yeah. Anything else before we wrap up? Okay. I'm seeing a big no. So, yeah. Thanks everyone. If you are on the Chaos Con committee, please stick around for a few minutes. And everybody else, you're free to go. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your week. We will see you all later. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.